Well, don't look at my bed. She's half naked. Laundry day, okay? Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak, and this is your life.
I don't want your life.
Oh boy, here we are. Back in the throes of drama commentary. Yes, it's a Starbucks cup. Yes, it's old. Yes, this is coffee from home. Alright.
God, I wish I could sleep. God, I wish I could sleep.
Gabbie Hanna really did it. She really did it. Gabbie Hanna got married. She got married to the man that it appears she's known for like a year. I didn't go digging too far because I feel like, especially somebody like Gabbie, who used to be like a chronic oversharer, if she wanted it to be super public, parts of it to be super public, it would have been so. This was sent to me via the photographer's Instagram, and that is as far as I'm willing to like dive in. So these are from the trad wife wedding. So this is Gabbie with her seemingly better blended hair extensions. I actually really like her hair this color. I like it that length. I like it with the bangs. I think she looks beautiful. This is not a dress that I would choose, but it is not my wedding. Thank God. I love the color scheme. I like the wildflower aspect. I hate the nails. I think if they were just like that opal, like solid sheen, I think that would have been fine, but because they have like a twinge of like French manicure to it, it's just not for me. But again, it's not my wedding, not my hands, not my monkeys, not my circus. The composition of these photos with like her and like the little cardigan and the tiara, like beautiful, 10 out of 10. You know, I've been covering Gabbie Hanna for a really, really long time on this channel, and I rarely have nice things to say because I don't think she's been a particularly good person over the course of many of her years on social media. I sure do hope that her new era as a potential trad wife, Jesus loving thing works out for her. The photos are beautiful. The wedding looks like it was probably beautiful. I think we can continue to never forget the shitty things that Gabbie has done and be glad that she's moved forward, even if that means that some people don't get apologies, real ones, or closure or whatever. Ultimately, Gabbie is doing what a lot of commentary channels said that she should be doing, which is moving on with her life, staying off of social media, stop putting herself in this sort of situation with all these factors that clearly send her into some sort of emotional and mental spiral. You know, my feelings about Gabbie are still pretty much the same in general. If she's happy and she's leaving everybody alone, amazing. I wish you all the best. I look forward to your future as a probably like one of those people who are like, oh, I'm a boy mom. Or like, you know, walking around like, Jesus loves me and so does my son. Or like, mom of chaos. You know the moms that like wear shirts like that and shit. So way to go, Gabbie, you did it. Shane Dawson's fans are pissed. And they're not all pissed, but like, this is the most displeased I've seen his audience at him in quite some time. If you're far removed from the sort of Shane Dawson realm, Shane has a podcast. Morgan, Ryland's sister, has a vlog channel, and then Ryland and Lizzie, Ryland's best friend and always the most annoying woman in the room, they have a podcast called The Sip. This week, Shane, Ryland, Morgan, and mutually The Sip all acquired a Patreon. Not one Patreon, 4 separate Patreons. That's 4 Patreons for people who watch a lot of intermingling content, which is gross, in my opinion. I have a Patreon, okay? Patreon for me is for people who like to support the creators that they watch. Don't spill coffee, gang. Patreon is good for small creators. It's good for big creators. But the idea of Patreon is to be giving your audience who subscribes something more in addition to what you're giving them for free. I don't think that's like creator wide. I think some people just use Patreon, or some people just use it as a way to say, hey, if you want to support me, this is a great way to support me, and toss some extra money towards production or whatever, because it's costly to be a content creator. 4 Patreons. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's 3. I take that back. I thought it was 4. So it's literally 3. 3 is, it's the same. It doesn't matter. 3 is still fucking a lot. So there's the Sip, there's Morgan's, and then there's Shane. So let's see. This is the Sip. And this is the one that I saw today that had the most complaints. Okay. Ever finish the Sip and find yourself thirsty for more? Join us here for an extra 20 minutes following every episode. We'll post a vlog once a month, drop Sip merch that can only be purchased by members, and go live 4 times a year. Membership options. It's $8 a month. Now I was looking at the comments on the most recent Sip video. I've never sat down and watched an episode of the Sip because I do not like Lizzie, and that's just me. That's a me thing. I don't know. I just find her really obnoxious. I used to like her. I used to think she was really funny, but she's I find her really obnoxious. So just a personal preference. I just don't, it's not for me. So there are varying comments on this video. Listen, this is just my opinion, and this will probably not be seen by any of them. Even though this is the top comment. These are the top comments. I didn't have to search for these. This will probably not be seen by any of them. However, I feel the need to comment it. As a fan since the beginning who was able to see through all the hyped and sensationalized canceled era. Bitch, please. No offense. I'm not calling you a bitch, Sammy Rollo. But like, come on. And as someone who would always turn their notifications on in order to continue to support Shane, who, when I have had money in the past, bought the merch, bought the palette, has watched y'all move up in the world from an apartment to a house to a second house, watched you get married, have your children. I subscribe to all the spin-off channels, Shane's multiple channels, The Sip, Ryland's vlogs, Morgan's channel, her podcast, Sandy and Jared's channel, and watch them every week. To now feel not included for extra content behind a paywall just feels shitty. I live in Canada and the Patreon costs $14.50 a month, and I truly don't have that. Our rent is out of control, the tariffs are killing us, the carbon tax, etc. This channel was an escape for me. Now it feels like some kind of cool kid club I never got the invite for. Shitty. Also, last thing, to sign up for all these Patreons is just not realistic. Morgan's, The Sip, the podcast, like, come on. I agree. I may not agree on the kind of content that we both watch in our free time, but I agree with you that it is shitty. Because like as a creator, I get it. You know what I mean? Like you want to make more money. You want to have a place where you can put things like this. But like also as a creator and as a person and as a mom, I don't know that I would feel comfortable with someone like, just given the history. Like I'm not saying anything like that Shane has done recently, but Shane is somebody, and this is separate from the Sip, but like they are tangentially related. You know, having an extra super quiet behind a paywall private place where Shane can talk to his fans who like, I'm sorry, but like 90% of them cannot possibly have fully developed prefrontal cortexes. It's weird. Like, and how much more money do you need? I don't think there's anything wrong with you guys having a Patreon, but when you go onto your podcast and purposely say things like, oh, let's not say that and put it behind a paywall, it's shitty to the people that have been here for so long. And you have also made it clear to us that the podcast won't change, but they are changing because you are picking and choosing what you want to put behind the paywall. Yeah, the first, like, I tried to watch this video because I'm like, okay, well, what's the tea here? Because it seems like everybody's really irritated that they keep talking about it. I made it like 10 minutes in, and almost the entire thing is them talking about what they want to put on Patreon, and oh my god, oh, save that story, we're gonna use it for our Patreon, and blah blah blah. Like, the thing is like, yes, this content is free, right? The content that I'm providing to you is free. But I still get paid. They still get paid. AdSense is money. Like, it's not like they're putting out free content and not getting paid for it. They also almost always have fucking sponsors. Like, what are you talking about? Why do we need Patreon? I can afford the Patreon, but if you're going to keep a topic for Patreon, then don't mention it on a free video. It makes me feel shamed for not paying for something I've gotten for free for so long. No hate, just don't mention content you want paid for on a free video. I think that's fair. Patreon should be a completely new content. This comment was edited and it's still wrong. Patreon should be completely new content. Don't erase the quality of the sip and exclude the little people. Amen. Nothing here will change. Does the food portion on nothing here will change. Does the food portion on the Patreon, which they've admitted is the only thing that gets them clicks on this channel. This seems to be like a big point of contention with their fans, because I guess they do a lot of food tasting on the sip, and a lot of the fans are pissed off because that's the only part they come to watch. You know, if this was any more of a marketing tactic, Shane Dawson would make a conspiracy video about it. Y'all, we can't even afford groceries right now, let alone Patreons. LOL. It's almost like, hey, hear me out. Oh, hear me out real quick. It's almost like all the things that I've been saying about Shane Dawson over the course of the past, like, 2 years, that his fans have all been yelling at me about. The fact that, like, they're incredibly out of touch and money hungry and tone deaf. It's almost like I was right, you know? Almost. It doesn't matter how fucking wonky my eye is. Like, I know what I'm talking about, okay? With having to pay for every streaming platform lately, Netflix, Disney, Amazon, Crave, etc., I quite literally cannot afford the Patreon, and I'm so sad because y'all are my favorite creators. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, on my Patreon, I do, we do the Teen Mom Book Club over on my Patreon, and, like, Teen Mom isn't something that all of my viewers enjoy. Like, I did not build a following making Teen Mom content, but it's something that I know that's, like, a niche portion of my content. So if that's something that draws a good portion of my audience, but not a large part of my audience. And honestly, I have been working to figure out how to make a free option for it as well. Because I know times are hard. I know shit costs money. I know everybody's, like, barely making it. And I don't want to put an extra burden of cost on somebody. They don't consider any of that. Asking for Patreons while Rylan is wearing a $400 shirt is mental, period. Here's the problem with Patreon pricing. If we pay $8 a month for one person, $6 a month for another, and $4 a month for another, that adds up. I know $8 a month sounds like one drink at Starbucks, but many of us don't even do that monthly. It's a rare treat. It just feels out of touch to charge the same price as a major streaming service that gives you access to hundreds of shows for just one creator's content. It's just a lot. I think even $2 a month would be more palatable, or content tiers maybe. It's just a lot. I've been really bugged by all the negative comments on this topic, but maybe this helps a little. Putting it into the context of what a regular budget looks like, it's just a lot right now. 100%. And this is what I've been saying the whole fucking time. You know, Shane Dawson stans got up my ass because I said that them going to Home Goods every October and spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on decorations that they then do a haul for and get a tax write-off for is tone deaf. Like, the way they spend money and the way that they are so out of touch with reality right now is so... It sucks. And I mean that, like, for their fans. Like, that sucks. You know, I know that there's, like, this niche. We're going to talk about the niche later. We'll get back to the niche. Bookmark the niche for now. Especially considering what's going on in Los Angeles right now, where they, you know, live. And as to my knowledge, I haven't gone through everything that they've put out in a long time. But, like, it doesn't seem like anybody's speaking up or speaking out about what's going on in LA, right? I hope every time they drive that Cybertruck, someone gives them the finger. I'm so sad, but I cannot anymore. Sigh. All this asking for money when you have more money than 90% of the people listening to you is sad and crazy insane. And Lizzie's constant screaming, I'm done. You know what, Karen? I agree with you. 100%. It is. It's weird and tone deaf and horrible. I just like, this is what I've been saying all along, you know? Like I said, I know they hated me for saying it out loud, but like, it's true. I'm sorry. Like, you're taking advantage of your young fans. Not really. I mean, it's not, I'm not like they're running like a scam, but like, it doesn't seem like the reception of these Patreons was a very good reception. Thank you so much for supporting my Patreon. My goal with this page is to document the process of creating my dream projects in movies, series, and short films. If you don't care about that stuff, that's totally okay too. I will have a 2 times a month podcast and some bonus videos here as well. See membership options. Also $8. All right. What's included in your membership? 2 vlogs a month at least. 2 podcast video episodes a month. Office Party podcast. 1 docu-series episode a month, 30 to 60 minutes each. Occasional videos I would never post on YouTube because I'm afraid of getting sued. 1 live stream a month, and private community chat. I just feel like this is a recipe for disaster, to be completely honest with you. And that's a big list of promises. I mean, so unless he's not going to really make much public content anymore, this seems like a lot. All right, let's see what Morgan's Patreon is about. I like Morgan. I have always liked Morgan. I still like Morgan. I watch her vlogs. I think she's entertaining. She seems like a decent person. Her says, "Hi, welcome to my For Now Super Secret podcast. Seriously, I can't wait to spend so much time with you in a new format. What you can expect on this page, other than the podcast every Wednesday, is all of the vlogs that my anxiety doesn't let me hit publish on for the big tube. I've finally found a place for all the footage that I usually hit delete on, chill, get ready with me's, long rants, dating tea, shopping hauls, things I'm afraid to say because I don't want to get sued again, and all things TMI about my life. I want to create a space where we can all be in contact 24/7 and rant about all the inner details of our lives together. Consider it a giant sleepover with a giant group of friends, LOL. I always say I have the best and most fun community in the world, and I would love to bring us together in one place to connect. Welcome to the party." Now, like, Morgan's a big creator, but she's not a huge creator, right? Like, she doesn't have, like, Shane's longevity and massive fan base, but she still has a really, you know, a decent amount of people who watch her content, myself included. And this sounds good. Like, this sounds, you know, if I really wanted more Morgan content, I would absolutely join this Patreon because it sounds fun. It sounds like you're actually going to get something out of this. You know, I feel like Patreon is sort of a place, sometimes to a fault, where you can communicate and exist more casually and candidly with your audience, and a lot of times that can backfire. You know, that sort of fuels the fire of like a parasocial situation. So I mean, it's a slippery slope. That's all I'm saying. Morgan, more conservatively, is a $5 a month sort of situation. Hers is $5. You get Seriously, the weekly podcast, exclusive weekly unreleased vlog, one unedited bonus vlog per week, things I can't say on YouTube edition, the never-ending group chat, 24/7 access to a safe space where we can overshare about all of our lives. See, that's where the danger gang comes in. Gotta be careful. Exclusive voting, me letting you decide things for me because I trust you more than I trust myself. Morgan's Patreon makes sense to a certain degree, you know. She still is probably making a ton of money. You know, all of these avenues have sponsorships, which pay handsomely, and they all make good AdSense. Oh, you know what I meant to do? The reason that I even knew that this was happening was because I was on Reddit and I saw someone shared that the SIP channel, whether it be Lizzie or it be Rylan, they commented on that video and pinned it at the top, the one that had all the negative comments about Patreon, and it says, "Girls, we have been doing free content on this channel for nearly 5 years. First of all, again, yes, it's free content. You're also still getting paid. The way that people are like, this is free. Like, oh my God, this is free content. You should just be grateful because it's free. Girl, you're still getting paid. This isn't a charity event, okay? We have been doing free content on this channel for nearly 5 years. Patreon will not be the only thing we talk about. In fact, since we launched the SIPs, we barely mention it. We do nearly an hour and a half of free content every single week. Tell me you're pressed without telling me. I hear you loud and clear, and we will chill on promotion, but this is something new and exciting for us. If you don't want to watch this week, we'll be back next week with a normal SIP episode. Love you all. Over exaggerated smiley faces. That seems like a really cunty response to criticism. Just my opinion. And then on Shane's video, he has a pinned comment too that says, thank you guys for all the love and support. I can't put into words how much it means to me. I can't wait to make bigger projects that hopefully make you feel something. Yeah, I'm feeling something. I'm so grateful that I've been able to do this for a living for the last 17 years, and I can't wait to bring you bigger and better things. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me over the years. I'm just so grateful. Smiley face with a tear. Why are we bringing back emoticons? Just use an emoji. So it seems like Shane never really got funding or a green light anywhere for the horror movie he was trying to make. So I'm seeing that this is sort of like an effort of self-funding. Okay, whatever. I just think it's interesting how annoyed people in the comment section, specifically of the SIP episode about it, were, and how they completely snapped at them for daring to have any sort of opinion that wasn't positive and throwing money at them. Like, gross. Out of touch and gross. You're all out of touch and gross. Except for Morgan. I don't feel like she's... Maybe she is. I don't who cares? Anyway.
Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. Because the people who say it's easy are so far out of their minds.
So I was talking about the niche earlier. I referenced the niche. And this is something that like I've been wanting to talk about personally for like a hot second. And I didn't know where I wanted to talk about it. But I'm going to talk about it now. Because it came up out of my mouth naturally. And now it's just going to come out of my mouth like word vomit. I understand to a certain degree, like, watching content that, like, you can't relate to, right? I understand enjoying, like, luxury hauls, makeup tutorials for makeup you could never do, travel content for places you will never see. I understand watching things and enjoying things that are, like, out of your scope of relatability. But, like, lately, I've been scrolling TikTok and I keep coming across, like, it's mostly Michaela Nagera, okay? I don't have a whole lot of personal beef with Michaela. I know some creators do. Whatever. I think it was disingenuous of her that she lied about, you know, how certain products work and just collected a check for that. But I just think the natural consequence of that is she's an untrustworthy reviewer. I'm really, really, really tired of watching her do rich people shit. I know the average commenter will come on here and go, oh, you're so jealous just because these people have money. No. And just so you don't say it in a minute back there, no. Shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
No, I'm not jealous. Would it be nice to have millions of dollars? Of course. For sure. But this opinion that I'm about to express to you, I promise you, is not rooted in jealousy. These people are incredibly out of touch. Because they are either willfully ignorant, regular ignorant, or truly evil. There's a time and a place for luxury shopping hauls. There's a time and a place to show off the $4 million house you just bought for yourself. There's a time and a place for those things. And it is not while people are struggling to be able to afford rent or buy groceries. It is not when the world is on fucking fire. Not just the United States, but the world is on fucking fire. It is not now. And the point of the niche is that I understand that it's a niche, it's an escapism thing that some people just like to watch it. I get it. But to not counterbalance content like that with real content about the state of anything, without acknowledgement of the state of anything else in the world that doesn't exist in your bubble, is gross. Especially as an influencer with millions of people. Millions and millions of people who follow you. You know, we talk about influencers, and a lot of people feel like it's not their place to speak on things because they're just an influencer and they're not that educated or whatever. I don't think every influencer needs to talk about everything. I don't think everybody needs to speak about everything. I think it's okay to care about stuff, and it's okay to talk about the fact that you do. I think it's okay to point people in the direction of something that's happening that matters, that's big, that's important. I think it's important to talk about the things you care about. I really do, especially as an influencer. Because if your job as an influencer is to be a walking commercial for corporations, I feel like there needs to be some balance. I think we need to remember that people are human and maybe don't get it right every time. But if you're not acting like a human, if you're not trying, if you're not doing something, if you're not at least having these conversations, then what is your influence good for? I'm not saying you need to sway people politically. I'm not saying you need to force your beliefs on other people. I'm not even saying you need to become somebody who alters their content to the point where it's a performative activism type situation. I'm just saying care about stuff and talk about the fact that you do. Because I think I see a lot of discourse online where people are talking about people who care about stuff, and this is just in general, not even like the state of the world, but like calling it cringe. And it's like, it's not cringy to care about stuff. And I'm just so fucking tired of being told like, oh, you need to hurry up and go get this elf primer. Get out there and get this primer. It's like, fuck you. How about if I could afford primer, maybe, sure. Even elf products now are going up in price. Similarly to the comments on the SIP episode, people are struggling to put food on their table, to pay their rent. And like, you got all these influencers and creators who are just trying to suck the fucking funds out of these people's bank accounts. And it's like, just because you get, a certain percentage from, this sale, or, that you didn't bother to disclose, or, you get money from Patreon, or, this, that, and the other. And it's like, there was a time where people were not always trying to sell you shit. And I'm tired of being, I'm so tired of being sold shit. I don't want it. Whatever you're selling, I ain't buying. Also, do you think I should watch Death Becomes Her and react to it? Because I haven't seen it since I was little, and I know it's like a gay icon movie. And as a gay icon, I would like to watch it because I saw it when I was little, when it came out, and it scared the shit out of me. So I think I should revisit it as a 39-year-old. What do you think about that? That's just like an aside. Anyway, let's get to the Teen Mom Roundup, okay? Our last and final part is going to be this Teen Mom Roundup. I have a lot to say. I made a larger video about a portion of this, and things have changed since I filmed it a couple of days ago so drastically that I'm either going to have to redo it or do a really good job recapping it right now. So let's do this. So Kale from Teen Mom 2 did a podcast episode with her son Elliot, aka Isaac, as we know him, who wants to be called Elliot, which is his middle name because he says it feels like sort of a delineation between the child that people know from reality television and he himself. They did a podcast episode in 2 parts where Elliot came out as gay and talked about sort of his journey to get there, which was really weird because all the comments on all the videos were like,
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah, we knew.
here's a novel concept for you. It's called tact. It's when your inside thoughts should just remain your inside thoughts. So Elliot talked a lot about that, and it was good. People called it exploitative. Kale posted that all the money that those episodes brought in would go directly to Elliot, which I think, you know what? He's almost 16. He can agree or disagree to tell story publicly, and if he's getting all the funds for it, I have very little problems with that. You know, I know a 15, 16-year-old isn't ready to make all the big decisions of the world, especially where consent is concerned, but I do feel like he is self-aware enough to know whether or not it would be a good idea for him. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders. But this came out shortly after Javi, Kale's ex-husband and father of Kale's son Lincoln. He basically went on a live and aired out all her shit, talking about how she's already got a new man after she split with her ex Elijah, who is the father of her 3 kids, Rio, Verse, and Valley. God, I can't even believe I keep track of them all. He basically exposed her for being late to Lincoln's practices, and essentially keeping Lincoln from Javi, because Javi moved, I guess, and I guess Lincoln was very upset when Kale broke it off with Elijah after Elijah was accused of cheating on Kale. I need to start keeping up with this shit more regularly because there's too much backstory for all this. But anyhow, Javi went on this big long rant, and Kale was like, yeah, I'll be back to that in a second. But first, Elliot wants to come out. So it was a very much like, this is happening, but look over here. I do expect the pettiest of all the teen moms to come out with a real statement about all this, probably in podcast form. My honest thoughts, like, Javi's dramatic as fuck. He always has been. Javi is a mess. Like, he is messy as shit. But just because you're messy don't mean you're wrong. Janelle can't seem to remember how old her son is. I don't know if I ever touched on the fact that she sent Jace to live with Andrew, who is Jace's biological father, who he doesn't really know. He's already back with Janelle because, of course. Janelle did a really long podcast interview that I was going to break down, but even in clips was too fucking boring to care about. And of course, the biggest news in the teen mom realm lately is not Amber Portwood, shockingly, who's nuts, but Caitlin and Tyler. Listen, I really filmed about a 3-hour video about this, and I literally can't even really use it because things have changed so drastically. So I'm gonna remake that video, I think, but it's gonna be a minute because I want it to have like everything. I don't want to have to do it in parts. But I will give you the gist. So I made a video recently about the beginning of this, just like the very, very tip of the iceberg, which was Caitlin was messaging with someone who called themselves Jenna, and they were claiming to be a friend of Carly's, but they were actually a catfish, which is gross and disgusting, and I can acknowledge that. But Caitlin spoke to them under the assumption that they were a minor, despite what they have said. But the way that she spoke to them was seemingly under the impression that this person was a minor child who was a friend of the daughter they placed for adoption. This person stoked a lot of concerns in them that Carly, the daughter they relinquished, was living in some sort of like abusive cult-like situation, and they were deeply concerned, which is why they continued to speak to Jenna. Now, simultaneously, Tyler has been talking to an actual friend of Carly's. And the messages that have gone on way too long between the two of them have been so disturbingly, disgustingly manipulative and gross. And I will be going through all of them, okay? Just give me a minute because things are changing every day. But I think they're about to not change because, oh Lord. Okay, so basically, Tyler was talking to this actual minor. You know, these people are asking about and giving a lot of personal information about Carly, about where she lives, about Brandon and Teresa, about their church. There's a lot there about religion, like, ugh. So there was this other party involved her name is Erin. She, I believe, is just an adoption advocate who became buddy-buddy with Caitlin and Tyler. And A lot of people have theorized that Jenna is actually Aaron playing a part to sort of set them up for this like hero complex bullshit. Now, I know this is confusing and I promise we will go through it bit by bit. All of these messages keep coming out day by day, a little bit more context by this account on TikTok called E. I don't know who E is. Erin has scrubbed her profile. Now, the thing I do want to talk about is while all this has been going on, there is a creator named Melissa on TikTok who sat down with Caitlin and Tyler for like 2 hours to sort of get their statements on what's going on. This person is also an adoption advocate. The amount of damage that Caitlin, Tyler, and these adoption advocates are doing to the adoption community cannot be undone. Not to mention to Carly, okay? Stay tuned. I promise I will make this video. If you're even remotely understanding of Caitlin and Tyler and that whole situation, you're gonna be like, what? This account called E, who has been leaking all of these messages between Tyler and Carly's minor friend, which have been verified, by the way, made a post this morning, which I'm still waiting for further context on, but it says, today Kate, Tyler, and Melissa, who was the one who conducted the 2-hour interview with Caitlin and Tyler, which would allow them to effectively deflect, blame, and take no accountability for anything, chose to dox a 16-year-old girl for their own benefit. They're unhinged fans who have already been blaming the child for the situation, the child being the person that Tyler's been talking to. Tyler, a man in his 30s, has been talking to. Are now further enabled to come after her. Both Carly's safety and that of her friends have been jeopardized by their actions. The lengths these adults will go to in order to harm children just to save their own reputations is absolutely sickening. From the beginning, I've made it clear that the only goal here was to hold Kate and Tyler accountable for their actions and that the safety of the minors involved would always be the top priority. Since Kate, Tyler, and Melissa chose to jeopardize that safety today by doxing a child, no further posts will appear on this account. The damage they've caused to this community and the harm they've knowingly inflicted on the children and families involved is indescribable. Moving forward, we will focus on healing our community, which has been deeply shaken by these events. We will do everything in our power to protect our children from unsafe individuals like Caitlin, Tyler, Aaron, and Melissa. So it seems like this Melissa adoption educator is currently on like a mission to like clear Caitlin and Tyler's name based on time zones and what the person who released the messages chose to redact and how it wasn't that egregious. I'm sorry. At the core of it, Tyler Baltera, a man in his 30s, is messaging a minor. I don't care what time zone anyone is pretending. I don't care what time of day. I don't care if they actually messaged at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't give a fuck. This grown man is messaging a minor in regards to a child that they placed for adoption whose parents have said, hey, no more. There is no world in which any twist you put on this can make what's happening okay. And choosing to side with Caitlin and Tyler on a situation where they are objectively wrong is not going to do anything for this Melissa person. If anything, it will derail the good work that she has done because these two are objectively wrong. Period. Again, there will be a longer video. I'm going to put it on my Patreon. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm gonna make a longer video about it because this shit's been pissing me off. This has just been straight pissing me off. Like, no, what we're not gonna do is defend somebody messaging minors for information. Like, no. So I'm sorry that this is like a more vague update on this situation, but now that it seems like this person who's been leaking the texts is going to stop leaking the texts, hopefully I can actually like get a video in a linear full picture sort of situation together for you. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I think I'm done here. I'm gonna go eat some chicken. All right, does that sound okay to you? It's your funeral. I gotta go. Subscribe or don't. I don't give a shit. Bye. Tripod is haunted. Nobody move. Okay, welcome to the basement.